And I would get emails from the teachers and emails from the other parents saying my kid's afraid to come to school because they're afraid that they're going to get stabbed by a pencil or he's going to choke them. Or at one time we joked that he was nicknamed the Sierra Madre Strangler because in his little class, like, he would just like choke people, and it was like one of those things as a parent where you're just like, what? Of course he does that because that's what we do at home, Yeah. So I was just like, it became very apparent to me that I was going to have to learn like some serious skills to be able to deal with it. So I took lots of classes about ADD and ADHD kids and how to deal with these kind of things, even though he hadn't been technically diagnosed or anything. So I was trying to gather information and learn and study and how to be more effective and what I'm doing that might be affecting it. And then, his second grade year, he spent most of the time in the counselor's office, and he would give me material all the time, like, here's some good CDs, or here's some good parenting this and that. And so I would just like, okay, it's my fault, I'll fix this, And so then in third grade, it was finally like the teachers, I was there in his class, they called me to the school either to like take him off campus because if he was a safety threat, or to come onto campus and shadow him so that he could so that I could help manage him. But it was one of those kind of out of body moments one day when I just looked at him and I could see how hard it was for him to just function. And and the teachers, I talked to them and they're like, I think we're out of our league here, like we need some professional help with him. And that's when I finally was just like, I broke down and I was like, it's not just me, like I'm crazy, like this is as bad as it is, right? I'm not delusional here. So we went and had him diagnosed. Finally we had him go through the whole gamut of psychological evaluations, and he, was diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety and several learning disabilities and ODD, which I had never heard of, but oppositional defiance disorder, where I was like, oh, click.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a match, like oppositional and defiant, and it's like that's the one where none of the other tricks work. So you had to learn some mad skills. You're shaking your head like a kid like this. See, and I feel bad for the parents who don't know what it's like to work with a kid that has this many needs, because they just look at you like, your kid is broken.
What's wrong with you?
You don't know what you're doing, obviously, as a parent, or obviously the teachers, or whatever it is, and they just don't know. And I have a lot of compassion for them because I know I've been there, and I felt that way before, like, what's wrong with your kid? But now that it is in my hands, I'm like, please don't judge. Anyway, he's super, super sweet, super smart, funny kid. He's just brilliant, but he wasn't able to access that brilliance very often because he would get flooded with chemicals so quickly. And so I actually medicated him. I'm like an anti-medication for kids. I got to classes in Canada and San Francisco, and like that was the last thing that I was going to do, but it got so bad that I actually did that. And there were a couple different drugs that he tried. No. He was on Concerta and lost a lot of weight in the first month, and so they switched him to Strattera, which seemed to kind of make it so that his reaction time was a little bit slower, so that he could have a little bit of cognitive reasoning skill between now and then. But still, he's the same person. But I was like, if there is anything ever, that pause for dramatic effect, anything, dear God, and the lights went out. Exactly how it happened to me. So,
and it shows up.
And then poof! Oh my gosh, what is this? Thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of it was more subtle than that. We just gave it to him a couple times, but he was so calm. Like who is it that said their kid felt really happy? He said, "Mom, is it somebody's birthday or something?" Because he just had that, like, he's excited about something. He didn't even know how to explain it other than it's got to be someone's birthday today. But he just had this calm and this peace, and he's more affectionate, and he's sweeter, and he's more loving, and he doesn't spin out of control. If he gets angered, he's able to just take himself in the other room and let himself calm down and self-soothe, and all these things that he has access to all these skills that we've been working on for so many years. but he's just, and then at school he's able to like keep friends and have those connections, where those were things that were damaged before, because he couldn't keep loyal friends if he was going to lash out at them. So, and the kids at the school and the teachers at the school were like, what's happening here, because we want to know. And then as we shared, there's it's contagious, but his grades started to improve, which was just something that I just was like, you know what, we're not going to worry about grades with you. It's fine. You go to school every day, you come home, I'm proud of you. Woo!
Yeah.
You made it. But he texted me, like last week, he texted me, and right after he got back from school, Mom, I forgot to tell you that I got extra credit on my homework because it was done. And I was like, and I don't help them with their homework. Like, that's your baby, your homework, not my homework, because I have enough going on. But so I was so proud of him, and it was just so cool to see him have the reward on the end of doing something hard, which is what he would never let himself get to that point to do. But it's been so cool. And like he said, we have him back. Like he's really present with us now, and he's on 0 drugs, and that calms my nerves infinitely. So.